Well, you threw out a bunch of terms there, so let's break some of those down as well and start with if the credit score is kind of the foundation of an application, or um, yeah, or if the complexity of a loan is kind of determined on the credit score. Let's start with like the easiest loan, and then let's work. I should say that, not the easiest loan, the one that would build your credit the fastest, and then kind of build from there. If I'm a 16-year-old kid, and I want to build my credit, or if I want to start a credit history or start thinking about my 20s. I know most 16-year-old kids don't think about their 20s, but let's assume they do. Um, where do I start? What's the easiest way to start getting my credit score in good shape?
So, you want to start with the credit card. You want to try to keep the balance low on it. And, you know, 2 to 3 credit cards, maybe if you work up to that point, it would be a good place to be. You don't want to go crazy with the amount of credit cards that you have, but you just want to be able to show that you can responsibly make payments, and credit cards are a great way to do that.
So that's kind of the entry point to the world of loans is a credit card,
I would
right?
say so. I mean, you can start with other things, but it's harder to be approved for the other things if you don't have a history of payments.
Yeah. And I think that's where I was headed with too. Like if I'm 16, I'm not going to go straight for a mortgage, right?
Right.
Kind of one of the most complicated loans to really apply for and get. So how do I start slow? I'm thinking about that even too. One thing that could help your build your credit as well is to have a checking and savings account, right? So and that's one thing you can do pretty young, at DACU, and that's one of the benefits of having a relationship, right? That builds your character.
Right.
If you have a checking savings account for a few years with us as a teen or preteen, when you get to the place where we feel you're responsible enough for a credit card, you can apply for one, and we'll allow you to come along, kind of grow in your financial responsibilities.
Yeah. Your checking account, before you have any credit, your checking account is your credit with us. Right. And so I talked about your relationship meaning a lot when it comes to a loan decision. And if you handle your checking account well, you're not constantly taking your account negative or things like that, then, it kind of shows that you are able to handle that line of credit.
Very good. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, like I said, I've got preteen kids, and so trying to teach them how to be fiscally responsible starts with a checking and savings account. So
Absolutely.
they can baby step into that. Nice. Okay, so we've kind of covered the credit card. So then next kind of rung on the loan complexity ladder, would you say that's a personal loan?
Yeah, honestly, I would say that personal loan and auto loan are kind of uh, back to back there. It depends on the size of the personal loan. We're not going to step out and do a $30,000 unsecured loan after you've just gotten your first credit card. But we may do $1,000 for you, $2,000 for you, depending on the reason and how well you've handled that credit card. But on the flip side of it, we may do a car for you as well. Um, Really just depends on how that relationship has grown and what your credit's looking like when you come back for that auto loan.
Would a 16-year-old who applied for a car loan who has a good history with DATQ, checking savings, and credit card, is that too big
So
of a risk?
now you got to be 18 to get
Okay,
a loan.
gotcha.
Um, Simple as that. You got to be 18 to sign the contract.
Yeah, you're just trying to stick it to those parents, aren't you?
Yeah, well, if they're willing to sign, I mean, they were teaching all the life lessons up to that point.
That's true. That's true. That's true. It's always the parents' fault. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we've got credit cards, we got personal loans, and perhaps auto loans, kind of at the same level.
Mhm.
If we step into mortgages, then maybe a little bit later in life, what are you looking for in the program parameters for, say, a mortgage loan?
Honestly, probably more so than anything, stability. Uh, you know, we just there's so many there's so many regulations and things that are protecting or that are regulating how we can lend. We do everything is following the Fannie Mae guidelines, so it has to be. We're going all the way into the terms here, but it's got to be a conforming mortgage. It's got to be something that can be sold to Fannie Mae. So, um, getting qualified for a mortgage is really more so about stability and affordability. You don't want to get into your first house and it's $1 million house. You got to be able to afford it. But again, just like an auto loan, down payment and things like that, they really influence how much you can get there.